Hello guys, and welcome to this volkswizard video. Now, regular viewers to my channel will know that back in September I was lucky enough to attend a preview of the brand new 2019 Audi R8. Now this featured numerous detail revisions, more performance, and importantly, much more aggressive styling. Well, the first press drives took place at the Ascari circuit in Spain back in December, but nobody could drive on the wonderful roads out there because the car wasn't approved for road use. So it's with great anticipation I find myself here in the Cotswolds with a selection of brand new Audi R8s at my disposal. Crucially, all of them wearing number plates and with some of the best roads in the country on our doorstep. Being good on track is great, but not many R8s will ever see a pit lane, so it's the on-road performance of this car that's key, because let's face it, it's the most daily usable supercar there is. But before we find out if Audi have thrown the baby out with the bathwater, let's have a look at that other key attribute of a supercar, the way it looks. Okay, before we go and drive this Audi R8 on these wonderful Cotswold roads, let me give you a tour around it, but let's start first with its name. Now, previously the top model was called the R8 V10 Plus. This is the Audi R8 V10 Performance, so that ties it in with other RS models like the RS6 Performance as the top dog in the range. Okay, let's start at the front as ever. So compared to the previous models, this car is a lot more aggressive in its styling pretty much on all four sides of it. So the front has got more grills. We've got some fake grills as well here. We've got these nostrils which come from the Sport Quattro. That's where the inspiration comes from anyway. Slightly different headlights. The big key factor is that we've got this theme all the way around the car with these titanium bits here and into the sills, and it matches with the blade. On a lot of cars the titanium carries on to the back, but we've got carbon fibre surrounds around the exhausts, gloss black in the centre, and we've got a spoiler which marks it out as a performance model. I think the rear lights are pretty much the same, but the big difference aesthetically is the grille that runs the full width of the car. And you can see still the exhaust valves and the chassis there, the aluminium space frame. On this yellow car it's really clear, but it's basically the same body, so it's yeah, the metal work will be the same, but it's just been facelifted where it's cost effective to do that. So bumpers and sills, I think the wheels are a new style, and these are actually extra cost. So these are titanium with a polished face on them, and 20-inch wheels. Got 245 30 20 on the front. I think it's 305 30 20 on the back. Standard carbon ceramics, but £500 extra gets you the red calipers. I think standard colour for ceramics is grey. They look really cool. And this mirror is actually really interesting. It's like a matte titanium, so that again ties in with the rest of the car. Because previously all this was just body coloured all the way down to the ground. The back had trapezoidal tailpipes that were pretty much flush with the bumper. Now they stick out and they're oval, which again ties in with other with the RS models like the RS6. They're signified by their oval tailpipes. We've also got a grille badge that says R8 on it, because back in the day it used to say Quattro or it used to say Audi Sport. Well, now we've got the proper model designation on there, which again brings it into line with other RS models. So that's the fuel filler there. Let's just have a quick look under the bonnets. There we go. So here we have the naturally aspirated V10. It's 620 PS in this car, so it's up 10 horsepower on the old one. And it's pretty much the same car, but it now has a petrol particulate filter, so it's faster as well as being better for the environment, but we'll come back to that when we go for a drive. Let's have a look inside. So not an awful lot has changed here. We've got bucket seats in black Napa leather. I think we've got the storage pack on this car, which means you get extra bits like this net here, which makes it a little bit more practical. Illuminated sill covers are extra on this car. Carbon fibre inlays as well, which look pretty cool. I think they're only, what's it say on there, £150 for inlays in gloss carbon. That seems like a bit of a bargain. Right, let's get in and have a look. So virtual cockpit by now will be familiar to you, and it's pretty cool. Should we start the engine? Why not? I can tell you, as an owner of an early Mark 1 V8, this car is thunderous in comparison. We've had people coming in and out of this place in these cars today, and you can hear them coming a mile off. The Heritage V8 that Clarkson drove, which I'm hopefully going to drive later, is pretty much silent in comparison. So yeah, you need to bear that in mind if you you need to make early getaways, because this car could be a bit disturbing on cold start. But as you can tell now, it's got a lot quieter. Okay, I won't spend too long on the interior because not an awful lot's changed, but just I'll give you an idea of what's what. So virtual cockpit, as ever, is very adaptable. Okay, navigation and all sorts of infotainment stuff in there. Got heated seats there. We've got the heating and ventilation controls built into these really nice tactile dials. Let's put it back onto auto, that's fine. Yeah, press that in as well, that's pretty cool. So turn off the aircon, press it in, yeah, brilliant. We've got the automatic shifter here, which is a new style, so yeah, it's definitely an improvement over the traditional type of automatic. I've mentioned this before, I quite like it. I think they're rolling it out to a few more cars. I don't think the RS3 current generation that's just currently being superseded has got this, so if they do, it's not a bad thing. Got USB down there and a nice storage for your phone. Reasonably deep glove box there. This car's got the B&O sound system, which is 1750. Let's just have a look at this. Yeah, £1,750, and it gives you speakers there which illuminate with the car's lights. So if I turn the lights off now, that's pretty cool. Must look cool in the dark. And I think if it says B&O on there, you must have speakers in the headrest, so that's pretty cool. But then again, why would you need such an expensive sound system on a car that sounds like this? And that's not even in dynamic mode. Let me just press drive select and put it in dynamic. There we go. So it's, straight away it's just a little bit deeper, and if I give it a blip, yeah, I think that's whetted my appetite now. So I think it's time to go and drive this car on these wonderful Cotswold roads. Okay guys, here we are behind the wheel of the brand new 2019 Audi R8 V10 Performance. So this replaces the R8 V10 Plus. It's got a bit more power, it's got a bit more torque, it's a little bit faster, it's 0.1 of a second quicker, 0 to 60 to 3.1 seconds. But even though it's got more performance, it's actually better for the environment because they fitted a petrol particulate filter. Because of WLTP and RDE emissions, they've had to make this car as clean as possible, and yet they've managed to do that and still make it fast, still faster than the old one, which is pretty incredible. I think I spoke to the guy responsible for engine development, and he said they used titanium valve gear in this engine, which sounds pretty seriously high tech to get the performance, but I don't think they even had to raise the rev limit to get more power. So yeah, what people are wondering though is if has it lost its voice. Well, let me just pop it into dynamic mode. I can safely say it's still the sonorous old V10 that we know and love. The emissions improvements haven't. Oh. They haven't changed anything, so do not worry about that. If you love the old car, you'll love this one. It's a little bit cleaner, a little bit faster, but more importantly, the styling is now in line with the epic performance. I'm a big fan of the way this car looks. I like the sleek smoothness of the early car, but I love this as well. Price-wise, I thought this was actually quite a cheap car. This is the top dog. It hasn't got an awful lot of options, but it's £148,000 with the options of about £7,000, so list price is 141. For that you get ceramic brakes, so you get bits of carbon fibre here and there. I think it's incredible value, and looking at the comparable stats with other cars like McLaren and some of the other performance cars, it is the cheapest car with this kind of performance. So yeah, okay, you're not getting the prestigious badge of a McLaren, but just look at it. Now it actually looks like a supercar. But the important thing to remember with the R8 is that it's a very drivable car. So if you pop it into auto, it just quietens down, and you could live in it every day. People do live in these every day, and I can see why. We've got passive dampers. If you want a little bit more ride comfort, you might be better off ordering magnetic ride. We haven't got dynamic steering, so this is a very pure system. I've driven today here in my Mark 1, which has got traditional hydraulic power steering, which is arguably much better than any electromechanical system, but it doesn't feel massively far behind this car. So without dynamic steering, this car feels good, but apparently dynamic steering is a lot better than the old version. Now there have been changes to the chassis as well, but they're all sort of detail changes, and whether you can tell on the road, I don't know, but let's have a bit of fun. So pop it into dynamic with the drive select button on the steering wheel, drop a couple of gears. Really slow to pick up, but then, I mean, I'm not sure I can look at the speedo and tell you, but Let's have a look. Yeah, around 5,000 RPM it really does get into its stride. It feels just... Yeah, I really don't think you need to buy any other car really, because this is as fast as you need on the road. It's just truly mind-blowing. The gearbox, just as good as I remember it. 7-speed S-tronic. It's just in the blink of an eye. Yeah, it's a very rev-happy engine actually. Very rev-happy, and that's great because that's what makes normally aspirated engines so exhilarating, and this car, it's just mind-blowing. But it's a Jekyll and Hyde attitude of it, so when you're fed up being a hoonigan, just pop it into auto. Take your mum out, go to the shops, pick your kids up, let the auto box do what it does really well. You know, it's a very dynamic gearbox, but it's also very good at the boring stuff, and just enjoy the everyday. Maybe people think I'm really boring, but if I won the lottery, I really wouldn't buy anything else, because when you go into Lamborghini and to a degree McLaren, you lose the usability. You're making life harder for yourself by owning one of those, just to have something that's, well, draws a bit more attention than this. But trust me, even my Mark 1, which is a 5-year-old car now, draws as much attention as you can need, and this car, which is even more breathtaking to look at, will be, you know, even better. I'll just turn around and we can maybe have another go on that road with a bit of a Dacia Sandero up ahead, but yeah, let's see how we get on. So I'm not going to use launch control, but let's just do a standing start, let the Dacia go on its merry way. I should use launch control, but somebody I know very well put one of these into a ditch, so let's just floor it and go. That's... Honestly. Damn it, where am I going to find another 90 grand now on top of my car to buy this bloody car? That's the problem with these press events. You get to experience some incredible cars that you know you'll probably never in your life be able to afford. But I can start saving. So let's see what we do on the overtake. Yes, if you like overtaking cars really sort of safely, then this is the car for you. It's the perfect safe car because you can overtake really slow, dangerous traffic like Dacias in the blink of an eye. So yeah, safety is good. And we've got ceramic brakes, which actually I always used to say for the road they're a bit of a waste of time, but with this kind of performance I actually think they're probably a really good idea, unless you just potter along like a lot of supercar owners do. If you're actually going to drive it properly, yeah, ceramics are pretty cool. Of course we have Quattro all-wheel drive, so it's an all-weather car really. You can use more of the performance, definitely more of the time, than you can in like a two-wheel drive supercar, like the one, the Mercedes AMG GTR or something like that. I haven't seen traction control on yet, and I've been hooning for quite a while now. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this volkswizard video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to contribute to my fund to buy one of these, then I can put my PayPal address in the description below. Just £1 from 90,000 people. I don't mind putting £50,000 of my own money in from my own R8. I think that's kind of only the fair thing to do. And then when I do buy one, I'll make a video and you can enjoy it with me. How does that sound? £1 each to these 90,000 people. Anyway, I'll see you for the next one soon.